This is Living Awake. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Melanie, Fiona, and I'd like to welcome you to Awake Radio, where we discuss life and navigating life through awakening experiences. And I always have the pleasure of having the most amazing people who also happen to be my personal friends on my show. And I feel so blessed to be able to do this. And today's episode is very, very special to me because I am talking about motherhood and music. As you guys know, this is a new experience for me. And I thought, what better way to talk about this with a friend than to call another fellow mother who also is doing music. And she's also an amazing cancerian sister as well for me.
Yes.
And she is the one and only, you know her, Goapele. Say hello.
Hello.
Goapele, she's so sweet. I love her. You guys don't even know. She's so sweet. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We've always connected on this very like random level because we've always seen each other like out here and there
for years.
And the vibe is always so sweet and so genuine. And having this arena to talk to fellow women, fellow mothers, fellow artists, it's really been great for me. But having you here especially is good because we recently were in a studio session and we just kind of started going blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
I know. We're like, we are cancers.
We are cancers.
Laughing.
And talking about being moms. And, you know, we're at very different stages. You have a daughter.
She's 9 years old.
She's 9 years old. And I have a son who's 9 months old. And I found
It's
that
a whole other world.
It is a whole other world. And like, you know, one of the things, first of all, I admire women who are mothers anyways, but being a mother and an artist at the same time, you have a 9-year-old. So like, I'm so intrigued by what that journey was like for you. And I know for me, what it was like. And, it's already been crazy so far.
Yeah.
And
like starting from when you're pregnant.
Like right
On the
away
road.
on the road. And so like, I mean, first, before we get into it, I want to start with a quote by another amazing mother who's also an artist, Sade. And I found this quote where she says, "To be a mother, you must be strong. Even if you don't feel it, you have to pretend." And I personally feel like that's been a true statement to me thus far, even in 9 months, because there are just days when I felt like I've given everything of myself.
Yep.
And I don't even know how much more. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, but I know I have to be strong for my partner, for my child.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure you felt that way as well.
Totally. I mean, I feel like what I've had to live by for the past few years is like, it's going to be all right because it has to be. And there's no other way.
And there's no option.
And it's just like, sometimes it's like, I don't know how this is going to work. I mean, I really don't know. And, but I'm just like, it has to be all right.
It has to be.
So it's going to be. And I'm going to pull through and I'm going to figure out somehow what kind of support I need, you know, and I think that's one of the things like I realized from pregnancy on is just like, I feel strong most of the time, but sometimes I really do need that support and it's important to ask for it. And sometimes you just got to be a little more vulnerable than you want to be. Or than you're comfortable being, but it's just like,
well, you know us, we're Cancer the Crab, so we're hard on the outside, but super soft on the inside. So I know.
Yeah.
I know. And you know, one of the things that I think really affected me. And I, you know, for anybody who's just kind of getting involved in like this thing, I'm so passionate about being a mother and I'm so passionate about the communication and the community of motherhood. I actually put out this video earlier on this year after I had my son, and I had no idea what was going to happen with it. I just spoke direct to camera and I like shared my birth story. And it was a very healing and very vulnerable thing for me.
Yeah.
But it was so empowering as well to just be able to say out loud what I was feeling and how I was feeling and what I had been through. Because I feel like we're so afraid now these days, like even though we're so overly exposed, but we're not afraid to really tell the ugly truth of things or the other side.
Because it can look you can kind of customize, you can kind of design your life to look publicly
put together.
Aesthetic. Yeah,
yes.
Totally. You can choose the moments.
Exactly.
You can choose the highlights throughout the day. And I think that on the outside, people have no idea, you know, what all those in between moments are. And I think that
the human moments.
Totally. It's like you go out, you look fly all the time, you're doing your thing, and it's like, who knows what it was like backstage or getting ready or what you had to do to get out of the door.
Exactly.
And, you know, leaving the baby to go do, you know.
I truthfully had this I broke down in front of the camera when I did my video because all these feelings came rushing back that I didn't even know I was still carrying.
Yeah.
And, you know, back to what you said about support, so important because after you have a baby, it's such a vulnerable time.
Yeah.
It's so new. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And for me, needed to own to myself and then also share with the world that I am human and it's not always aesthetically put together. Like this is a moment of reality for me. And if there's no better time, I think that really forces you to tap into your reality than having a baby.
Yeah.
Because your whole world changes as a woman. Your body changes as a woman. And
totally. And it's constantly changing.
Constantly changing. And
hormones.
I mean, I remember when I first got pregnant, and you can tell me if you had a similar experience. Yeah. I mean, I knew that I was on the way and open to the idea of having children, but I wasn't necessarily trying to have a child. But the universe had greater plans for me. My son's spirit was in the universe looking for me and it's like, I'm ready for you. And I was in the most loving relationship of my life, and he was completely conceived by love. And so I welcomed that. And then the fear of change hit me.
Yeah.
I was elated and then I was terrified. And of course, one of the fears that happened for me was, my God, what does this mean for my career?
Yeah.
We live our lives in the public eye. We have to be everywhere at many times. Like, what does this mean for my future? Can I handle this? Am I going to adjust?
The unknown, I think. I mean, for me, I always knew I wanted to be a mother, and I always knew that I wanted to do music and art. And I think I just got to a place where I was like, I'm doing music, but I'm ready for something more in my life. Like it just didn't feel just enough to just be like on the grind. Okay, yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I'm going to do this, and just keep, you know. And so I told my team, I was just like, all right, I'm going to have a family now. Like, I don't want to put it on hold anymore. But I did not know what was going to happen. And I was like, you guys, I don't know what my schedule is going to be like. I don't know how it's going to work out. I just know that it needs to. And people be like, are you still going to do music? You know, my grandmother was asking me, but how does it work? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, I saw, who was it? Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Cyndi Lauper? No,
Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper. No, I remember years ago.
Is it Madonna? Who? Cyndi Lauper?
Cyndi Lauper had a child too. This is a long time ago. This is like when I was a teenager. But I just remember seeing her and Tina Turner, and she opened for Tina Turner, and she was in this body lace bodysuit, and she was like, she must have been like 7 months pregnant or something, and she was just out there like stomping it out, singing. And I just had that image like, it's going to be okay. She is a rock star and she's out there doing it. And I don't feel like or when I had my daughter, I didn't feel like there was that many examples of like people in our genre, like
out there
pregnant, still doing it. You know what I mean? But I was like, it can work, and I'm not giving up on either side.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I think there definitely is the unknown factors, and you kind of just got to feel it out and be open. And then, you know, your energy, my look, you know, new body.
And I don't know about you, but when I got pregnant, I popped right away.
Yeah.
Like I have pictures of me at a month and a half. Yeah. When I mean, no one knew, not our families, like no one knew I was pregnant. Yeah. But I mean, I had to hide it. Like I was still in concealing, and it really wasn't like a hiding situation. Like I don't want to acknowledge this life. Yeah. More so than I was taking the space to gather myself.
Yeah, and it's like brand new in the beginning.
And feeling how I felt, and really going through the process with my partner and saying, okay, what's next? But then again, like I mean, by 3 months, there was no hiding it for me. Like, I mean, I see pictures back of myself and people were like, you were pregnant? How do you know? I'm like, good fashion. I was styling myself. I mean, I could create a whole line of how to conceal a pregnancy if you really want to know. Because I just wasn't ready to announce it. And of course, I remember doing these tours. I was pregnant. I mean, very pregnant. I did these shows in London and Paris. Yeah. And I remember looking at myself, and my face was getting rounder, and like I was wearing flowy stuff, and the boobs are like up to my chin, and I'm like, no one is calling me out on this right now. Yeah. And I was like, wow, people are really being respectful, even if they suspect.
Because they probably could notice. They're like.
But what I loved is that they gave me the room to announce it on my own. Mm-hmm. Nobody called me out. And I think that like how you set the tone as an artist has a lot to do with how your fans respect and receive you and treat you in return. Yeah. And, you know, what was it like for you? Like when you got pregnant, how did you feel like, okay, I'm going to make this a part of me? Like, am I going to announce it? You know
what? I didn't. It was to everyone that was close to me. I was, but publicly, I mean, it's funny though. I mean, I cut my hair. I just kind of switched everything up, but I wasn't ready to talk about it on stage through most of my pregnancy because it just felt so personal. And then it just like physically started getting more and more public, but it still just felt like
it was yours.
My body. Yeah.
It was yours.
So it's really an interesting kind of thing. And sometimes I was wearing some, tight clothes out there and I'd walk out on stage and people were like,
but you're just like, and the next song is.
And I finally had like cleavage and it was just kind of like,
but you know
ride or die. Like I also felt a little more bold. I mean, it wasn't like I might have been a little private, but I kind of just felt like, I'm a woman now.
But you know what? There's something to be said about that. And that's the truth. Is like we give so much of ourselves as artists. Yeah. We reveal so much of ourselves through our music, through our fashion, through our interviews, so whatever it is. And there is that space of, this is mine. Yeah. This is me, and I have the right to decide how I want to share this with the world.
Yeah,
if I choose
like
to share
everybody else.
Like everybody else. And, again, like for me, I knew that I wanted to incorporate, like having my son when I was pregnant, I was about 4 months pregnant, and I shot a video for this song, I Want It All. And that was my reveal to announce to the world. Now, mind you, I didn't put that out till I was damn near 6 months pregnant. Yeah. And people had no idea that whole time. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, should I, what? And
I know, because I think I saw you early on.
I came to your show.
But I don't think, I couldn't tell at all.
No. I was
You were just like so mellow. And then like, I don't know. I saw online, I saw some photo and you were all like that. And I was like, what?
Hugging the belly. No, and it was important for me again to reveal that part of myself on my own terms.
Totally.
And my control, but also not denying, but not, I remember there were times when I felt anxiety, like, oh my gosh, what if people ask me, what if they talk about it? Like, it's not the way I wanted to go. Yeah. And then also that taught me a quick lesson about letting go. And I realized that my son, he was in there like, you're not going to hide me for long. I'm going to be out here. And if somebody sees me, let them see me because I'm coming. And it taught
Introduce me, Mom.
Introduce me, Mom. Yeah. It taught me the first lesson of letting go because I had no control over my body. My body was growing at such an exponential rate that I was like, this could just happen at any time and I got to be prepared. But no one called me out on it. And I'm thankful for the opportunity and the choice to be able to reveal it how I wanted to in a beautiful way in song and dedication to him. And I was really thankful for that. And now I feel like my fans have been with me on the journey of it, of also understanding I need to take some time to be a mom.
Yeah. And you've also been sharing so many different things. And I think it's just more real for people and they don't feel alone. Because I think it is that whole
balance.
And I think the other thing, it's like we can be strong and vulnerable and sexy and
all of
smart and brown the way and not put together and clean up
and do it all.
Yeah, because I think that's another thing too of like, I didn't want to be looked at as in another category now.
Well,
you know?
That's the thing, is that I feel like millennial moms, which is what they're calling us now, is the fact that we now more so than ever can do all of these things. I mean, we have progressed so much as women, but how dare you tell me what I can and cannot do because now that I've had a child. Like, I mean, and especially the stigma of being in the music industry. Oh, she had a baby. Oh, it's a wrap. Like, dudes don't want to fuck her anymore. Girls don't want to be a mom. Like, they want to be the young party girl doing whatever it is. And it's like, I'm a cool ass mom. Like, I still am here with cool ass moms. I still get dressed and do what I need to do for myself. And I feel great about that. And I'm so glad that now more so than ever, we're breaking that stigma of like, oh, she had a baby, she's washed up. And you had your daughter 9 years ago. Was that a thing for you that really like, did you ever feel that pressure? Did anyone ever offend you and kind of try to put that fear into you about that?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the messages didn't get to me. If they did,
you were like, pew, 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 defend.
Or whoever was around me, you know, was like, that's not going to come to her. And I just never like energized negativity. You know what I mean?
Amen for that in all areas of life.
Yeah. I'm just always like, miss me,
swerve.
But I think for myself, I mean, also just because there was a lot of transitions going on. Like there was a major label deal that I was just like kind of ready to get out of. I had locks down to my butt that I had been growing, and I was just like ready to get rid of the hair. And I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. So I think I was just walking around a little different already in preparation. And
you were already elevated. You were already onto that.
It just, I felt like I was at a time where I was just like, I need to let some things go. I want transformation. And it ended up happening that my dad died like really like when I was maybe a month pregnant. And it was just kind of like all the whole like cycle of life and just things changing. Like it just, I don't know. I felt it before it was coming. And then it was there. So I was in a bit of a different place anyways. But I think I definitely, had some concerns of like, how are people looking at me? Can I still do a sexy song? But I kind of felt more like, especially after I had her, I felt more empowered. Like now I can really say anything I want without having to get anyone's permission because I'm a grown ass woman now, you know? And that was like something that, and I'm like, I can advocate for myself and I need to know how to advocate for my daughter. And so there was a little bit of me that I felt like could let people say things a little bit more for me before. And then it was like, I need to really step into myself.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing more that's made me have to step into myself than becoming a mother, really. Like owning everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the things I need to work on, change, all of it. Like, because I know now that there's someone else watching me and I want to be the best version of myself for him. Yeah. And so sometimes, you know, some people always feel like, oh, I wasn't ready. I'm not ready to have kids. I'm not ready to have kids. And if there's one thing I can say, especially with us, like some people have what I would say, the luxury of having a stable, consistent job, 9 to 5 in a, you know, committed relationship where they have a full support system and everything seems like, okay, we've gotten married, we've done a check, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. My life has never been about checking off things that seem the norm. So I had to accept that this was my turn of life for me. This is what was written for me. And I have to go with what's happening. And I learned so much about myself through this process of labor and motherhood thus far. Like I've just had to, like you said, I felt it coming. I felt myself speaking about my child. I felt from my last relationship when I felt the demise of it happening, my previous relationship, I actually had a vision of my child looking at me saying, you can't have someone speaking to you that way, mommy.
Yeah.
Which made me leave that relationship.
Wow.
And so the concept of being a mother, I always knew I wanted to be, and I never knew how empowering it would be, but I feel so amazing doing it. And like you said, like it's taking you up to this next level where you can feel it coming.
Yeah, and it also pushes you to grow.
Man.
Like whatever parts weren't ready, your child will make sure that you start working on them, you know, because it was also like, for me, it was like any little issues, it's just becomes like right there, like deal with it and grow. Because I don't know. That's just what it's about. It's like you're growing at the same time, like, you know, because I feel like it was kind of just like learn how to rise to the occasion and be present and be woke. Awake. Yeah, be awake.
Yes.
You know, be present.
Okay, well, on that note, because we're talking about going places and feel things coming, you have made one of the best songs, I think, of all time. I mean, it will forever be a soundtrack to everyone's life, because I feel like your song Closer is what that is. It gave people inspiration. It gave people that feeling. It captured the feeling of what we all feel when we're like, I know it's coming and I'm going and I'm getting higher and I'm elevating and I'm going. Thank you. And thank you for that. Gosh. So on that note,
kind of like the struggle and movement at the same time. Huh?
And was that, when did you just to see the timing of it, where were you when Closer came out, and your daughter, did you have her?
No, Closer, I recorded Closer in like 2000.
Wow.
Maybe even 99, like 2000. It was like, I didn't have a label. I was just like, I was coming out of school and I was like, I want to put my music out there. I don't know what category I'm in. I don't know if people are going to be into it. I don't know how to define myself. I just know what I feel, and I have a few songs, and I want to see if there's an audience that will take me for me as I figure it out before like I get into the machine and I don't know what's going to happen. And Closer was the last song of that EP. That was just like, you know, before we even started Skyblaze, like literally like consignment stores, shows, out the trunk of the car. And it was just kind of like an intro, I felt like, to the project, and like, this is what I'm going through. But it was one of those songs that felt like it was already written. I can take a long time writing a song.
Me too.
I could take a long time. But it was one of those things, like, as soon as I heard it, Amp Live from Zion I and Mike Tiger had just like made the basic track, and he handed it to me because I was like, I had done some work with them, like done some hooks and stuff. And as soon as I heard the chords, it was just kind of like a mantra in my head. And I was like, I should just go kind of record this basic idea. Girl, we just left it. You could tell it's like, it's not a normal verse and
no, but it's
chorus or anything.
It's truth. There's so much truth in what you were saying. And it's almost, and again, like in every one of these talks, I always like to bring it back to the awakening moment. Like you were, like you said, you were having that moment. Do you feel like that was an awakening moment for you to write that song?
Totally. I mean, I can remember exactly when I heard it in my bedroom. You know what I mean? Like living with my mom, or maybe I was above in the apartment or something. And it was just kind of like, I can remember it. Like it was yesterday. And it was really just a feeling, because I feel like for me, like excitement always also I can kind of see where I want to be or what I'm trying to do. And then very soon the fear rises up, and it's kind of like, but what about this and this and this? And it's just always been like that for me. And so it really was like, I can feel myself going somewhere, but I'm really like, it's not all the way polished how I want. I don't know if it's going to work. It's not exact, but it's something, you know.
It's closer.
Yeah.
It's closer.
Exactly.
It's one step closer to where you need to be. And I think that's the thing for everyone, that I know as a listener, as a fan, like as an artist, that was so inspiring to feel like, like don't downplay or don't dispel what you've been working on. Like you're closer, even if it's one
you
small
could feel
progress.
it. It might not be all the way, but you can feel it. You're like, you're moving towards what you really want. And I've loved to see just how other people have embraced it and how far other people have gone. I mean, it's just been...
It's an iconic record.
Awesome.
It's an iconic movement. Thank you for it. I mean, we could talk about this all day. I know I could. We could talk about it forever. It's just so passionate about it and so truthful again. And, you know, the concept of awake and what that word means to me is I always do feel like there are moments in our lives which define us and that change things for us where we really are closer, feeling when your intuition speaks to you a little bit stronger. And so I want to ask you 3 questions in regards to being awake. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts and your answers are. So the first question is, what is your life's mantra, if you have one, or do you have a root word that you always come back to that keeps you grounded and still within yourself?
Well, for one, I'll say part of it is my name. My name is a family name, and I say Goapele because it's easy to pronounce, but it's really pronounced Goapele. And it's my grandmother's maiden name, and it means go forward. And I always feel like I have to live by that, and I kind of remind myself of that when I'm kind of,
feeling sluggish or stagnant.
And it also means scream first, which I look at as speak up. And it's just kind of like a tap on the shoulder, like,
I love it. How many people can say that their mantra is their name, though? You heard me? This is destiny. This is destined. This is not made up. This is destined. I love that. Oh my gosh, that was great. Second question is, and I ask everyone the same 3 questions. Okay. So, second question is, what makes you feel most awake, present, energized, engaged?
It's not just one thing. I think it's when I'm in the moment and I'm no longer thinking about what I'm doing. It could be on stage when I'm authentically enjoying it, singing with the crowd, and I hear the music in a way that I can feel it as if, you know, when we were first recording it and it turned into a song. And I feel it when I'm at the beach, you know, the ocean, nature makes me, we got that connection.
Waterside,
Yeah, when I can just like tap into nature and I feel like it just puts everything in perspective.
That's so funny because a lot of people that I've been interviewing on this have said nature a lot. And it's because I do think it's like, especially when you live a grand life, it's so much power and beauty in feeling small. Like I love driving through the Rocky Mountains and feeling like, oh my God, this thing is, oh my God.
It's
like,
there.
For real.
It was there before us. It'll be there
long after us.
And it's unaffected. There's so much noise in the world and so much BS, you know, and so much power trips and oppression. It's just like when you can just breathe and be in it and see like there is some kind of order to this life.
Absolutely.
This
oh my gosh, I know. It's I just look, well, I'm just the outdoors. I mean, being in California is just allows for that.
Yeah, because you don't have.
But you're a native.
So freezing, huh? Sometimes in Canada, you can't just be like, girl, I'm gonna stroll in December, January.
Winter. No, we're not strolling. But I can tell you what I can do is go outside and put on my sunglasses today. It's out here.
No, I feel you because I lived in Boston for a minute, and I'd be like, oh, it's so beautiful, and I go outside like, forget it.
Forget it. I'm going inside. If you go outside here, you're just like, do I need a sweater or do I need a scarf? Do I need a sweater or do I need a scarf?
That's
back home,
the LA life too. Because even in the Bay, it's not it's not like out here.
But I love that though.
It's hoodie life in the Bay Area.
I like
out
hoodie
here,
life.
It's like
I
you
like
can
hoodie
wear
life.
some cutoffs.
I'm not about a
almost
parka
year-round.
life though. I'm not about that parka life anymore though. I don't like it. It's so funny. Okay, and then the last question is, what is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
When I wake up in the morning, I don't know, because it's different now, because now it's mainly my daughter wakes up before I want to wake up in the morning. So it's kind of like,
you relate on.
You know, it's like, up like, okay, I gotta get up now.
But your
I
daughter
probably didn't go to bed early enough. I probably didn't get enough sleep again. And, you know, thank God for her father, because or else I'd probably be grouchy all day. But he kind of like really makes it happen in the morning. And I'm a little more like getting her to bed at night, because it's tough.
It's tough.
And this career wasn't built for that.
This career was not built for mornings.
For early mornings at all.
It is not. I now, again, 9 months, I wake up to pulling of the hair and slaps in the face. And then
you're just like,
I'm like,
oh, God.
And then I open my eyes, and then it's this big, chubby cheeks looking at me like, oh, Mom. And he's like, Mom. And I'm like, oh, everything is the best. You know, so I love that you mentioned your daughter, because our mornings are similar again, even though our nights are similar as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, I had no idea. I never have any idea of how these things are going to go. But I know that I've done well in selecting the people that come on here, because I know we can just talk and be real and be honest. And I appreciate your candor and your sharing of your story.
Thank you. I'm happy that you're doing this.
Thank you.
I mean, I think this is
It's important
awesome.
to talk, right?
It is important to talk, and it's important to connect. And I feel like, especially now with like social media, where you cannot be in front of people and connect 24/7. And I think it's just, especially now in these times, just important to like come together, keep the conversations going, be honest,
Be honest. And so what are you working on? Please tell, because people are listening. And what are we working on? And
well, I'm going to put out a new project this spring. So I'm excited about that. And I'll be getting out and performing. And I'm also working on, you know, my merchandise. I just designed a jacket.
which I am the new proud owner of.
It looks so good on you, too.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love that jacket. It's so dope. Congratulations. Yeah, you'll see it. I'm going to put it on my Instagram and online, and everyone will see it. And what's the brand?
Dream Seekers.
Yes, Dream Seekers.
And I'm also working on some body products. I'm just kind of doing a lot of things that I've wanted to do. And I just feel like now's not the time to wait. So I'm just kind of like putting a bunch of feelers into different passions that I have.
And you're still a mom. Can
I'm
you imagine?
still a mom.
You are like doing all of it, which is amazing. So like you're giving me so much inspiration to see, like, because of course it's difficult right now with a small baby. It's difficult, but
it's different. It's like each phase will be something that'll be easier. He'll be more independent, but then it'll be the next phase.
I know.
And he's more busy.
I mean, we could talk forever. We didn't even get into like life on the road. Like I have such a hard time leaving. That's a whole other episode. We're going to talk about that.
I know. It is a balance.
But I feel like these little spirits chose us. They know what they were getting themselves into. They know mommy's got to go and do what she's got to do to be great. So I want to thank you. Where can people find you?
Thank you. Goapele.com.
And
Instagram, just at Goapele.
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for being here. I love having fellow artists and musicians on here, because I always like to play some music that I'm into, even when there's no artist, but you're here and I'm into you. So we're going to end off with one of your songs. We're going to end off with Play.
Oh, thank you.
And I just want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your journey with me. And we'll continue to journey on and be awesome music mothers together.
Thank
you so much for being here.
I love seeing you all the time.
Thank you. We just hug for
one
people
more
who can't see.
I'm dipping in and out.
We're hugging it out. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody for watching. And until the next time, guys, stay awake. Peace out.
I wanna know what you wanna do. What if I could say there wasn't any rule?